everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to keep it simple and fun. I have a lot of new makeup coming up, a lot of new reviews coming, and we are going to be doing a full face of nothing new. I'm going to go through my makeup and pull out makeup that I have not used for a very long time, and we're doing a full face. I'm so excited with all of the new makeup launches hitting us, and I think that's like the perfect time to throw in a shop stash video, right? Where you just kind of go into your makeup, don't worry about the new launches, and pull out that makeup and play with it again. I also kind of update you on things that are kind of going on in my life right now. Kind of a difficult situation going on with my grandma, which I'll get into all of that. And yeah, it's just kind of a chit chat video. I love chit chat get readies with me. So that's what we're doing in today's video. Everything I use, I will link down in the description box down below. I'm just gonna stop talking. Let's get into it. I'm gonna start with some Magic Cream from Charlotte Tilbury. I need some full coverage. You know how when you get done being sick? Well, first of all, I didn't really take the best care of my skin when I was sick. So my skin's looking better, but it was like really kind of textured. I had little bumps, you know, along like my jawline and stuff. So I really need to get my skin feeling better again. Because I've been testing the new KVD foundation. Let's see, what is this even called? This is the Full Coverage Serum Foundation. Because I've been testing it and I'm in the mood for full coverage, I thought I would pull out the KVD Good Apple. This one. I've hit pan on this. Like, I have enjoyed this. Like, you can see this right here. I've hit pan. But you just have to use the smallest amount. Like, the absolute smallest amount. If you go too heavy with it, it will literally like lift. This is one of my favorite foundation brushes to apply this foundation. So I'm just gonna go in and pick up the smallest amount. So I'm just gonna do this. Now this shade might be a little too dark for me, but that's okay. I need some color. Oh, I need some color. And that's why I'm wearing this like springy sweater. I'm ready for spring. We've had so much snow. I am over this whole snow junk, really. We've probably accumulated maybe like 7 feet of snow, and I still probably have like 5 feet in my yard. It's ridiculous. Like, we've just been getting hammered, which, don't get me wrong, we needed the water, but dealing with that kind of snow and that much snow is a full-time job. When my husband and I were sick, ooh, I just got too thick on that side. Hold on. When we were sick, it snowed over the weekend, and that was when we were at our worst. Like, I was down and out, he was down and out. Like, there was absolutely no way that we could go out into our yard and do any snow shoveling or using the machines. During that snowstorm for that weekend, I think it was like 1.5 feet worth of snow. We were completely snowed in. We couldn't order DoorDash. We were dying. My husband gets up, puts on a ton of clothes. He had been fevering the whole night before, puts on a ton of clothes, goes outside and does the little like machine to try to get like one part of the driveway open so that we could get some food. Oh, it was awful, you guys. And I mean, I probably could have put in the moms group here locally, like, hey, do you guys have any teenagers that you can send over, you know, to shovel our driveway? But I don't know, like, we're the type of people, we have a hard time asking for help. Come over here, Arlo. Come here, buddy. My son's dog, who is Arlo, he has pretty much become my dog. Yeah. So my son left for California to do his sales. Oh, he's such a big boy. There's Arlo. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Say hi to everybody. Oh, don't lick my face. He's my sweetest boy. Say hi to everybody. Okay. He is getting bigger by the day. He's pretty much become my dog at this point because he is extremely clingy. That's number one. And he's just fallen in love with me because I have been the one that's been like taking care of him. I kind of made a boo-boo. Okay, I don't ever recommend doing anything when you're sick because you don't always make the right decisions because you're kind of drugged up on medicine to try to survive and you're not really in your right mind. And I should have listen to myself, but I didn't. And I like completely trimmed my brows, but like they're kind of jacked up right now. I shortened them too far this way, like on this part, and they just look kind of dumb. So don't do stuff like that when you're sick. Like wait till you're clear-headed and you are feeling better to make those kinds of decisions. I just wanted to feel good, right? So I put a brow dye on them, like the color, because I always dye my brows anyways, but I left it on too long and it was so dark for like 4 days. Again, don't do that kind of stuff when you're sick. It's so stupid. It's a dumb decision. Brows are done. So I've been seeing people on TikTok using this. I've been watching a lot of TikTok lately, obviously. So this is the Next Care tape. And because I always like wipe, I thought about why not use this? So I think the trick is to like really get it at the right angle and then getting them to match, right? Like that's going to be the trick. Are those even? I think they match. Do they? I guess we'll find out when I take it off. I'm wanting to do a pink look. So I thought I'd pull out the Rose Quartz palette from Huda. I haven't used this for a minute. They're just so beautiful. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to take Radiate on a small, this is the BK Beauty 210 brush. Okay, then I'm going to go into Precious, which is this like dark gray color, and go like right at the base of that crease. Then I'm going to take a smaller pencil brush and I'm going to go into Mantra, this dark gray on the bottom. And this is the reference number 23. Now I'm going to go into Happiness, which is that really pretty pink. Blend that into the crease. Now I'm going to put some of Radiate and Precious here on the outer corner. Okay, and then I'm going to put that pink Happiness, or should I use Cherished? I'm going to use Cherished. Cherished is this really light pink. It's like a baby pink. I'm going to put that on the lid and kind of use it as a base. Oh, look how pretty that color is. Having that lightness underneath will really make the shade pop. I'm excited. Now I'm trying to decide which shade I want to use. I kind of want to go into this shade. Should I? It's so pretty. I think I'm going to use it. Why not? I am going to dampen my brush a tiny bit so that it applies evenly. Oh, that's so pretty. That is stunning. I'm going to go into Empowered, this one up here, and I'm going to tap that over top of these out here on the outer corner. Before I remove the tape, I'm going to put on an eyeliner at the base. I'm going to use this one from Esom. These are called the dual eye pencils. So I'm just going to go like at the mid right there. I got eyeshadow all up in my lashes and go up a little bit. So now we're going to remove the tape. Oh yeah, that's a nice clean line, isn't it? I'm going to use this excess on here just to kind of pick up any eyeshadow. I think that's what's also nice about using the tape is that you can, I mean, it removed, but I'll put concealer on, but you can use it to pick up any eyeshadow that's kind of fallen. Not a bad little trick, TikTok. Not a bad little trick at all. Okay, so I'm back. This is the first time I've used the tape, and I actually really like it. It's a little bit crooked, don't get me wrong. Like you can see this is a little bit lower than this side. However, I like it because I feel like I can really blend over top of it and kind of get the colors right. So I'm not mad at this tape. I'm going to continue to use it and see, you know, if my fillings change. But if you're like me and you do like a little bit of a lift out on this outer corner, try getting some of this tape. It's fantastic. We're gonna move on to concealer. I recently bought a new one of the Hourglass Vanish concealer. So the shade that I like is Beach, and I was out of that, or mine was a little old and I was almost out of it. So I bought me a new one when I got some new stuff from Hourglass. What did we just get from, anyway, whatever we just got from Hourglass, I went ahead and ordered it. So, oh, the lipsticks. When I ordered the 4 lipsticks, I ordered this. This is one of my favorite concealers for that full coverage, but it's also a very smooth concealer. Like it's really, really smooth on the under eye. The trick with this one, again, you cannot use very much of it. If you use too much, it can get a little bit heavy on those wrinkles. So I would just recommend, you know, being mindful of how much you use. So I'm going to wipe off the applicator. And I'm going to stick some here and here. And maybe a little dot right there. I'm just going to blend it in with the BK Beauty A506. This is the brush that was created with Angie from Hot and Flashy. It's the best concealer brush. Such a good concealer brush. That concealer is perfection, and I hadn't used it for a while because I haven't repurchased it for a while because I was, you know, out of the other one, the one that I had, and I kind of fell in love with other concealers. You know how it goes. So I hadn't used it for a while, and I forget how much I do love this. Okay, so I'm going to go back to this pencil from Esom. And I'm going to use this right at the lash line, like right at the base, and then kind of connect it a little bit up to here. Not anything crazy, but, and then I'm going to take a brush and blend it out. I am going to take a small brush and I'm going to go into Happiness, that bright pink. And I'm just gonna bring that like right under there. And I'm gonna take the Tarte Fake Awake. The trick with using the Tarte Fake Awake is to clean it off on the back of your hand or whatever before going in with it on every use. Because it's like fresh, like you get like the gunk off of the pencil. Like, you know, whether you have black on the waterline or whatever, it will transfer onto the pencil. So making sure that it's nice and kind of clean is the trick. Let's move on to the face. So I'm going to use this. I haven't used this for a while. This is the Beautiful Skin Sunkissed Glow Bronzer from Charlotte Tilbury. So we're going to use it. I am going to grab my BK Beauty 109 brush. I need to get another one of these so I can use one for cream blush and cream bronzer because this is the best brush ever. It really is. BK Beauty, man, they are amazing. Okay, so I'm going to tap a little bit of this. By the way, this is in the shade 2 Medium. So I'm just kind of using it as a base because the next product I'm going to use is a little bit of a like glowy product. I'm so excited. So I'm just going to tap this in to the forehead. It is a very natural bronzer. Like, I forget just how creamy it is. I haven't used it for so long. Why haven't I been using this? While I'm doing this, I do have kind of an update on a dilemma that we're dealing with for family. It's kind of a bad dilemma. So my grandmother so if you guys have been with me for a while, you will know that my grandfather was like my world, and he passed away. It'll be 3 years in February since he passed away. He passed away right before COVID hit. My grandmother has kind of declined since he passed. Like, she was starting to get kind of forgetful when he passed, but now she's got dementia. She's kind of in and out. Sometimes she knows what's going on. Other times she has no idea, right? So her health has gradually declined. It's been about 6 years ago, she had breast cancer. So she had a double mastectomy. She had 8 rounds of chemo, and she came through it with flying colors. Like, she was a champ. Like, my grandma was so strong throughout that process. I will never forget. I went down and stayed with her for 2 weeks and helped her through the surgery and helped her get better, and just like took her to her chemo treatments, and she was just so strong. Chemo, like, of course she lost her hair and stuff, but like, it never really made her sick. She was definitely one of the fortunate ones that wasn't affected by it that way. And unfortunately, they found cancer recently, and they are saying that she has a tumor in her liver, and she has 2 tumors in her stomach. The one in her liver is quite big. So they've diagnosed her with stage 4 cancer. Push pause on that for just a second. I'm going to go in with this palette. This is the palette that I have been seeing all over TikTok. Everybody's been using this palette. I'm going to use this palette for like blush, bronzer, highlight, all of it, just for fun. Okay, so back to my story. Because she has a tumor in her liver and it spread to her stomach, they are saying, it's pretty much stage 4, but we don't know what type of cancer it is until we do an actual biopsy. Well, first of all, my grandma lives an hour and a half from where they do the biopsy. She struggles, especially leaving home, to do stuff like that. And she's declining every single day mentally. And so if they find out that it's the same cancer, from what we're understanding is that if it's the same cancer as her breast cancer, they could give her a pill that could kind of slow it down and maybe give her up to an extra year, up to a year. Okay. If we do nothing, they said 6-month time frame. So now the family needs to decide, is it better for her to prolong her life by a year when she's mentally declining to the point where she's going to need home health care to take care of her because she's not really taking very good care of herself? And we're just kind of thinking, like, does it really benefit her to prolong her life? And how wrong is that for us to even have to like want to make that decision? We obviously have not made any decisions yet. I'm going to go into this shade right here. We haven't made any decisions yet. Obviously, it's a huge decision. And it takes lots of prayer, lots of, I think I just completely effed that up, you guys. Over top of that, I should have, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can try to buff it out. I mean, I keep thinking to myself, my grandfather was the person that I went and asked anytime I was struggling with anything, like, and I needed advice. I might be able to buff that out with some powder. Anytime I ever needed advice, my grandfather was the one I went to. Like, and I keep asking myself, if my grandfather was here, what would he say? Like, what would he want us to do? But more importantly, what would my grandma want? Knowing her the way that I know her and how hard she fought that cancer and how happy she was that she survived it. She was like, I cannot believe that I fought this battle and won. Like, she was so proud of herself, almost to the point where it was a victory that she'd never achieved in her life, right? Like, it was something that really made her feel empowered by fighting that cancer and winning it. And I'm going to take the blush. And because of that, I keep asking myself, what would she want us to do for her? Like what decision would she want us to make on her behalf? And it's just a very hard position to be in. And, you know, it takes a lot of prayer, and it takes a lot of the family kind of coming together, and, you know, everybody having an equal input, and everybody's opinion matters. And, you know, it's just such a difficult position for families to be in. I'm going to go ahead and put some setting powder on just to kind of buff everything out, because I got a little bit crazy with that bronzer. Here's the other side of it. So she's kind of hard to handle. She's a pistol. She was always a pistol, but she's even more of a pistol now that she's older and has dementia. But she adores me, like absolutely loves me. And I'm kind of gentle with her and kind of soft-spoken with her, and it works with her, especially in this stage. So if we decide to do the biopsy, and, you know, the MRI, and because that's the thing, it's like going to be an all-day thing. She has to have a PET scan, biopsy, and blood work done. And I mean, it's going to be hours. And I just keep thinking, like, it's going to be a lot for her, you know? And for what? Just for us to be told, you know, yeah, we can prolong her life by this medication, or no, we can't. I don't know. It's a lot to digest. It really, really is. But we just need to make the right choice for her. Here's the thing. First of all, this blush is pretty, but it doesn't really have a lot of base to it. So I think for me, I want to go in with a blush over top of it, but I want to use this. This is the 001 pink from the Backstage. It's like that cotton candy pink. Oh, it's beautiful over top of that Dior, you guys. The thing is that I keep thinking about her reunion in heaven. She has missed her parents. So her father died when I was 3, and her mother died when I was 8. And all the years growing up, anytime my grandma and I ever talk about her parents, she always cries. She misses her parents so much. She never really got over their death. So I keep thinking, like, what a glorious reunion it will be for her to see her parents again, and my grandfather, and her brother who has passed. So I don't know. I'm going to mix these two shades together. I am just a glowing girl today. Woo! I'm going to put a little bit of this on the center of the lid and the inner corner. That's kind of the update on what we've been dealing with in our family. And we have a very small family in my mom's side. My grandparents had my mom and my uncle. And my uncle has never married, has no children. He still lives at home. He's in his 60s, but he has suffered with severe depression and anxiety his whole life. Like, his life is just been really sad because he's just suffered so greatly with such horrible, debilitating anxiety. And, you know, he's never really been able to live a normal life. And I also ask myself, like, how he's going to handle losing my grandmother, because he's really close with her, because he's lived with her his whole life. And so that kind of worries me, like, when, you know, she eventually passes on, like, what will happen to him, you know, like, how will he handle that? So it's my mom and my uncle, who of course was never married, no children. And then my mom had 3 children. I'm the oldest. And then I have 2 younger brothers. They're not married. My youngest brother was married, but he and his wife divorced. So here's the thing. It's like, we want everybody's input, right? Because it's just my mom and my uncle, me, my 2 brothers, and my 2 kids, right? And of course our spouses, but we have a small family. And so now we have to make this decision on what is best for her. And I am just not really ready to make that decision. I'm going to take my sponge into this Kosas powder and kind of tap it over top right there, just to kind of calm down the shine on that Dior powder. I brought it up a little bit too high, and so it's kind of exaggerating some of those textures. Okay, now I need to figure out what lip I'm going to do. So just pray for our family. We're trying to make the best decision for her. And I just keep coming back to the same conclusion and like the same feelings, is that she would not want to prolong her life and then end up being bedridden, or, you know, the dementia really takes over and she's, you know, goes walking and gets confused and gets lost. I mean, like, there's so many variables that happen with dementia. I'm trying to find a reason to prolong her life, and I'm not finding them. That's kind of where I'm coming from. It's like, you want to weigh it out, like the pros and the cons, and I'm not really finding a lot of pros when it comes to prolonging her life. Like giving her this pill, because it might not even be an option, right? So we don't know until we do the biopsy and all of that. But you know, if she didn't have dementia, it wouldn't even be an option, because I know my grandma would fight. See, that's the other side of me. It's like she had breast cancer and she fought so hard and she was so happy she won, and it was such a major accomplishment for her. So I just don't know. I'm so conflicted. We're so conflicted, and we're so trying to make the right decision for her at the end of the day. I have a attachment to makeup from her. I think I've mentioned this in my videos before. She was the first person that kind of introduced me to makeup. You know, she took me to the Lancome and Clinique and Estee Lauder counters when I was a teenager and just bought me so much stuff and like all this makeup. And she was kind of the reason why I love makeup. And, you know, every time I do my makeup, I always think about my grandma. And so I'm just trying to like, yeah, I'm trying to come to terms with it. But anyway, I'll probably share some pictures of her and I. She loves Snapchat. So a couple years ago, we were at dinner at my mom's house and I was showing her all these like Snapchat filters. And so she and I were taking a bunch of photos, and it was so fun because she kept saying, oh, what about this one? And oh, what about that one? And let's do this one. And it was just so cute. And I'm so happy that I have all those photos because she really didn't like her picture taken. But with those filters on, she was in love because she was like, I don't look like myself. I will totally take those pictures. But I remember I took one with my grandfather and I'm going to cry. Ooh. I took one with my grandfather, and it was this picture. I'll put it up here. And he says, you better not put that junk all over Facebook. And I was like, well, how would you know? You don't even have Facebook. I could totally put it on there and you'd never know. And he's like, everybody in this damn town has Facebook. If you put it up on Facebook, I'm going to know about it. And I'm going to hear about it at the coffee shop. So needless to say, I didn't put it on Facebook. But, you know, I've come to terms that I was fortunate enough to have my grandparents as long as I have. And they kind of raised me. Backstory, my mom was 15 when she got pregnant with me, had me at 16, just after her 16th birthday. And so my grandparents raised me for many years until my mom married my stepfather. And they were more my parents too. So when I lost my grandfather, it was like losing my grandfather, my father, my best friend, like all in one. And now with my grandmother, it's kind of the same thing. And it's like all those childhood memories, like, so they have a swimming pool in their backyard, and all growing up, that's all we did. In fact, he was the only person in that small town that had a swimming pool for years. It was really epic. And I would have so many pool parties, and I have so many amazing, like my best childhood memories are with my grandparents and at their house. So not even if I was at the pool, it was just being there. My grandma always made me the best food. And anytime I was hungry, I would call her up and say, hey, Grandma, I'm hungry. And she's like, well, I'll have Dee come get you and pop in the car and head on over and I'll make you a bunch of food. And she was just that type of person, even though she was a pistol. So on the other side of that, she is a pistol, and she was very blunt. And if she didn't like something, she would tell you. And she wasn't always the nicest in the town to people. She could either be, if she loved you, she loves you. If she doesn't like you, she doesn't like you. But I love her. And we need to make the right decision for her. So anyways, okay, I'm going to go off camera and figure out what lippy I'm going to do. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I found the perfect lippy. I'm so excited. I haven't used this for a long time. So this is the Frosted Lipstick from MAC. This is the 302 Angel. And I remember when this first came out, I think it was, I could be wrong, but this shade I think is the one that Kim Kardashian used to wear like years ago, before she became the Kim Kardashian, right? This was the shade that she wore with a lip liner, but I can't think of what the lip liner was. I can't remember. I have two lip liners. These are from House of Sillage, and I think this one would be perfect. This one right here, which is the shade Ultimate Pout. So I'm gonna line the lips with this. Okay, now I'm gonna add the lipstick right in the center. I wouldn't say it's super frosted though. It said frosted, but I don't think it really is all that frosted, which I'm kind of in love with frosted lipsticks lately. I don't know if I'm the only one, but I have been kind of obsessed with them. I want to put a little bit of this on the center of the lip. I mean, why not? It's just makeup. I'm going to grab a little bit of this. And what's really nice about this is that it kind of sets the lipstick. It really does. Like, it's not going to go anywhere. That is so pretty. Am I wrong? That's so pretty. I mean, I might have got a little bit heavy-handed with the Cupid's bow highlight, but you know what? I'm just in the mood. So makeup is on. This is the final look, and oh, I needed to play in makeup today, and pulling out some of these have been so fun. And even though I got a little crazy heavy-handed with that dark color in the Dior palette, I was totally able to blend it out with powder. Like, it blended out really easily. I needed the full coverage. I was wanting something that just kind of, you know, gave me that full beat. Here for it, all of it. Like, I'm loving it. So that's pretty much it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I love going into my makeup and finding those makeup products that I haven't used for a while and kind of falling back in love with them. So I hope that this inspires you to go into your own stash, pull out some makeup and just play, right? And for us makeup lovers, like, makeup makes us feel good. And I really needed that, like, feel good makeup, right? I got the full coverage. I got the really pretty kind of purpley pink eyeshadow. Like, I'm here for this. So that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.